Hello there. Do not attempt to adjust your screen. Yes, this is still the Handmade channel. Yes, I am still Paula Jean, and this is still a channel about sewing and making, but I am coming to you today from a hotel room in Mesa, Arizona. And I'm here because originally my husband and I were just planning to do a very low-key Thanksgiving at home, maybe invite some friends over for dessert and mulled wine or something. But then my husband was asked to do some location scouting for a commercial here in Arizona. So my options were to stay home alone for the holiday or to hop in the car and join him for a little road trip. And I did want to get this video filmed and published, and I realized that all of the things that I'm going to be highlighting today for these handmade gift ideas are things that I was going to be bringing with me anyway. So I thought, well, why don't I just shoot it in the hotel room? So that's what we're going to do today. And some people will think that I am just wearing my robe, but returning viewers will know that this is the Cara tunic and dress pattern that I was a pattern tester for a few months ago. There's a video about it here on my channel, and that is what I am wearing today. So let's get into some gifts. One general note about everything I'm going to highlight here is that I think that any of these gifts are great for any gender and almost any age, like not little kids, but I would say teens and above. And it would all depend on your fabric and embellishment choice, but there are so many options with all of these that you could make them for almost literally anybody in your life. So I'm going to start off with the most involved one, which is the Friday garment bag by Friday Pattern Company. So you'll notice that this is a little bit longer than some of the garment bags that you might be used to, especially like those cheap plastic nylon ones that you might get at like IKEA or like a dollar store or something like that. For me, it holds one of my like midi length dresses without any bunching at the bottom. So just to give you a little bit of an idea, and I'm 5'6". This has so many great little details on it. It's a little narrower also than a lot of the garment bags. So I've got like 2 regular size hangers in here, and I could get a couple of more. I actually wanted to make this before I went to my friend's wedding in September. I wanted to just have my wedding outfit all kind of contained in this and use it as sort of kind of like a packing cube. But I didn't get it made. So I only got it made last week, and I'm really glad that I did. Let me highlight some of the features. So it's got this really long zipper down the front. And it's got a little pocket here that is meant for either your jewelry, tie, pair of socks, cufflinks, whatever you want. It's got 2 pockets here. I did a little extra on mine. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But it's got these 2 big pockets here that are meant for your shoes, but obviously you could put anything that you want in them. I made mine out of, this is an outdoor fabric. It's sort of like sunbrella fabric. It was just a big piece that I had that was covering up some junk on my balcony when I lived in Montreal. And so since I've lived in LA, it's just been kind of folded up in a drawer. And I thought it was the perfect thing to use for this. So it's not like waterproof, but it's, you know, kind of water and element resistant. So you can use something like this. You can use denim or canvas. You can also use lighter weight fabrics. They do say that if you're going to do that, that you should probably interface it. And there is a sew along tutorial with this pattern. And I don't know if I mentioned that this is a free or pay what you can pattern, but that is the case with this. And like I was saying, they have a video sew along on the channel, and they go over interfacing like some quilting cotton if you want to use that. Another feature is this little loop on the bottom that goes around your hangers, and then you've got these shoulder straps so you can carry it like this. And let me just tell you some of the extra little things that I did. And so there's an opening up at the top, obviously, for the hangers to go through. I added at the inside top of the bag these 2 little strings here. And that's just so that when I have more than one hanger, I can just tie it around the hangers to kind of keep everything all together. That was really simple. And then for the pockets, so the original pockets are just flat slip pockets that you can slide either one shoe in each pocket if your shoes are kind of more chunky, or if you have a pair of flats, one pair of flats will fit in one of these pockets. I decided to add some pocket flaps with a magnetic closure. And I also added a box pleat to my pocket. I think this is a about a 2-inch box pleat. And I just did that so that in case I want to stuff something in there and need a little bit more space, that I have it. But just the flat pockets hold a pair of shoes just fine. And the other thing I did was this funky bias binding. I had this brown zebra fabric that's just quilting cotton, so I made some bias binding out of it, and I just really liked how it looked with the fabric. So rather than doing what the instructions said, which is just to, once you've got all the front and back put together, you sew the back and front right sides together and just do a regular seam, and that's that. I decided to sew them wrong sides together so that I could put this bias binding all the way around the outside, and I really love how it looks. So I think this is a great gift for the holidays, but it's really great for any time of year. Like if you are either affianced and you want to do something for your people of honor or your bridal party or something like that, you could do something fun. Like you could do little monograms on the pocket. You could line it with satin if it's for like special occasion outfits or something like that. You could go super frilly and maybe do like a ruffle all the way around, or it could be super sophisticated if you made it out of like a canvas or a denim or even like a faux leather or something, or did some leather piping or binding around the edges. That could look great. So many options with this, as with so many of the other gifts. So that is the Friday garment bag, and like I said, it is a free or pay what you can pattern, and obviously I will leave the link down below. The next handmade gift idea is the spare block packing cube. This is a free tutorial from Mija Handmade. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's M-I-J-A, and she is actually a quilting designer, and I am not a quilter yet. I'm sure that I will be in the future, but I am an admirer of quilting, and so I get her newsletter, and that's how I became aware of this packing cube tutorial. So this is designed to use up any spare quilt blocks that you might have that are about 12.5 by 12.5 quilting blocks. And it's so that if you have these extra blocks, either because you made a different size of quilt, or maybe you had the best of intentions in making a quilt and didn't quite get there, this is designed to use up those spare blocks. So like I said, I am not a quilter, but I was able to just use the dimensions that she gives for the bottom panel, and I just made 2 of those so that I have a top and a bottom, and followed the rest of the tutorial as written. And I really love how this turned out as a little companion piece to my garment bag. The instructions said to, as you're putting together the interior, the exterior, and the batting and quilting them all together before you put all the pieces together, to do an open stitching design to minimize the shrinkage. And I didn't really know what that meant, but I just took it to mean keep it kind of open and simple. So I just did a very simple diamond pattern for my quilting, and you know, it's nothing fancy to write home about, but it worked out just great. And because this is designed with quilters in mind, the seam allowances are all 1/4 of an inch. I'm used to working with that because that's the seam allowance that's usually given for bra making and lingerie making. So I was used to working with that and didn't have a problem with it. It doesn't have any like fancy lining or anything like that. Like there's no bagging out or anything. It's just finished with simple seams, and she gives you the instructions to just do a zigzag to finish the seam. I was able to actually get it under my serger foot, and so I just serged all of the inside seams, and it worked out great. I added a couple of things, of course. One of them is the handle on the back of the, like at the, where am I here? So at this like hinge point here, so this panel is part of the instructions, but the little handle I added. And then I also added a little loop at the front of the top, just in case I wanted to like loop it over a hanger or something like that, or on a hook. I thought that that would be handy. And I think when I make another one of these, I'll probably put like either a mesh or a slip pocket inside the top panel. I was really amazed at how much and how many things I could get in this size of a block. The finished size of this is 12 by 12, and you need a 40.5-inch zipper. So I had some zipper on a roll that I had enough length of, but I was missing the zipper pulls that went with it. So for those of you who watched my Innistress video where I had this grody zipper that I pilfered for the zipper stop so that I could make a custom length zipper, I actually pulled that out again, and I ended up using the zipper pull to finish off this zipper. So nobody is going to push me off of my hoarding anytime soon. So that is the spare block packing cube from Mija Handmade, another free tutorial. As a bonus, my husband said that this, together with my garment bag, looks like a 1950s Palm Springs travel set. So I love it even more now. There are a ton of eye mask patterns out there, both free and not, but I am here to make the argument that the best one is the free closet core eye mask pattern, and I'm going to give you several reasons why. I have made so many of these. This one is looking a little worse for wear because I use it a lot. This one is one of mine, but I have made these for gifts. I even did an embroidered one for my dad, and they're just really, really great, and they come together really easily. So the reasons why I think that this is the best eye mask pattern are: one, there is no elastic. I hate having elastic all the way around my head. It makes me anxious, and I really don't like sleeping with that. So this actually has a Velcro closure. And it's quite long, so it is adjustable. So you don't need to know somebody's head measurement in order to make this as a gift. They can just adjust it on their own. The second reason I like it is because it covers the ears. So that'll cover the ears. And it's not like it makes things soundproof or anything, but if you're somebody who likes to either nap or sleep or meditate with like either earplugs or earbuds in, it kind of helps to keep those in place. So that's really nice. I also love the fact that you can use it open. So if I'm just like lying down for 5 minutes just to kind of reorient and reset myself, I can just kind of put it over my eyes and use it, basically as an eye pillow. So that's really nice. But by far, the most important thing is that it actually blocks out the light when you're lying down, because it has this great nose notch so that when it fits over your nose, these parts here actually touch your cheeks, so you don't get the light leak that you do with most other eye masks that I have used anyway. So those are my points defending why you should maybe consider this pattern if you're going to make an eye mask for somebody as a gift. And if you're going to do any embellishing, like some embroidery, like what I did for my dad, you just want to make sure that you do that before you do anything else. So embroider your front panel and then put the batting and the backing fabric on top of that so that any little knots from the embroidery aren't felt on the face as you're wearing it. So that is the closet core eye mask pattern. All right, this next one is going to seem a little bit weird, but stick with me. This is Simplicity 9331, and it is a collection of hot and cold wraps or kind of garment type things that you either chill in the freezer or heat up in the microwave. So there's an eye mask here. You already know how I feel about that. But there's a wrist wrap, and then there are these two kind of mantle type shawls. One that goes just partway down the back, just kind of basically below your shoulder blades, and then one that goes a little farther down, almost to your waist, kind of depending on what your height is. And How these are made is they're sewn together, and you sew these channels that you then fill with either rice, or you can also use buckwheat husks. And then you seal everything up with the bias binding all the way around. My husband and I have several, they call them magic bags. They're just kind of like a rectangular bag that you can put around your neck or lay on any part of your body. And in the summer, we keep them in the freezer because we stick them in our bed to cool it off. Or if we need to ice something, that's what we use to ice it. Or in the cooler months, we put them in the microwave. Or if I have like a really achy neck or something like that, I like the heat on them. Now, I have made one of these, and I didn't put in the rice. I am going to make one like that because I just think it's going to be great. But I went ahead and, just to try out the pattern, I made myself what I call a meditation mantle. So this is just that silk jacquard on the outside. I lined it with flannel. I've got some cotton batting in there, and then I just used some ultra suede fabric that I had and made the binding that goes all the way around. I love this thing so much. So I use it most days because I meditate in bed in the morning and in the evening before I go to bed. And I just wear like either camisoles or tank tops to bed. And I don't want to put on like a sweatshirt or anything. So I just put this on, and it is just enough to keep like my neck and shoulders and my upper back, which are the areas that tend to get a little bit of a chill on me. It's just enough for a tiny bit of coziness. I don't get overly heated or anything like that. And it's just the perfect thing. So I think this would be a great gift, like loading up those channels with the rice. Like anybody who has aches and pains, if you know somebody who is at any point in their menopause journey and needs something that they can grab out of the freezer and just put on and cool down or warm themselves up, I think that this is a fantastic gift. And it's also something that if they open it up, they might kind of wonder what it is, and it has a good story to it, and they might just love it, and you might become their favorite person. And my last handmade gift idea is the Cape Cod capelet. This is a pattern from Itch to Stitch. It's a very inexpensive pattern, even at full price. I think it's only about $7. And I don't know if she's running any maybe holiday sales, but you can check that out. This is such a great item. I have made this one for myself out of the leftovers of a rayon cable knit that I used to make a Mia turtleneck dress. I've also made this as a gift, and it's been very well received and well loved. So the reason that I love it, especially for travel, is because obviously you can wear it as intended, just as a capelet over your head, but also you can turn it upside down and just throw it over your shoulders as a shawl. You can do the same thing and just put it over your lap as a little blanket. And I'm somebody who likes to, when I travel by plane, I like to sometimes rest my head on the seat in front of me. So I can just fold this up into a little square and use it as a pillow. Also, if you're somebody who has a window seat, you can just kind of bunch it up and use it for that. So I really love the versatility of this, and so often it's just the perfect layer to put on when I don't want to put on a jacket. And I think that this could be made for any gender, again, depending on the fabric and the embellishment that you do. So on mine, I had done like a little blanket stitch around the edge, but you could also make this out of a fleece. You could also do a lightweight knit one, which makes for a really nice layer in the summer and in the warmer months. It's kind of a layer of sun protection. So lots of things that you could do with this as well. So those are some of my handmade gift ideas for the season and beyond. Let me know in the comments if any of them kind of got your gift-making juices flowing. Take great care of yourselves. Enjoy the season, and I will see you in the next one.